welcome back to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, Litecoin Leader. Or am I Clark Kent today? I normally don't wear my glasses, but maybe there's a reason I'm doing a Clark Kent impersonation. Maybe it's a hint of just the kind of man I am for today and what coin I'm going to be talking about next. And welcome back one last time for ALTCOINopoly, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, Litecoin Leader. Thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining me for all 35 of these videos. Hopefully you subscribe over to LitecoinLeader.com. This is your last chance. At the end of July, we close the drawer on the opportunities to be involved in the game and winning the prize for the trip to Myrtle Beach. So be sure to join before the end of the month. Get all the pieces watched and filled out on your board and email that over by the middle of August so we can draw your name for that potential win. So I hope that you do that. And anyway, I really thank you for joining me on these videos. It's been a wonderful, stupendous, fantastic, amazing ride. And there's lots of reasons I'm using all those adjectives, because this coin today we're talking about is a stupendous project. It's an amazing project. It's got lots to be wonderful about. It was invented by a YouTuber, an influencer, a developer, and a gamer, and a coder. So he's got all those things under his belt. He's been working on this project for over 3 years. It just launched in March. There was lots to be learned about it, and lots of people had their eyes on it because it works to both combine NFTs and DeFi. What coin am I talking about, and what influencer is involved? Find out next. Okay, so this one is going to be a complicated one, but I'm going to try to simplify it as best as I can. The coin today, the coin we're wrapping up ALTCOINopoly with, is called Superfarm. Now, Super is the invention of an influencer, a gamer, and a coder named Elliot. Now, Elliot is known as Elliot Trades, and excuse me, there's his channel right there. That's him talking to Ivan on Tech, and this is him. So it's Elliot Trades is his channel. His name is Elliot Wyman. He's a coder. That's a terrible picture of Elliot. Sorry, Elliot. Let's get Elliot a better picture here. Well, all right, that's his cover page. So Elliot is an influencer. He's been a coder. He's been in the cryptocurrency space for a long time. He's also a developer. So what he decided was that he saw a marketplace opportunity that needed a void in the marketplace that needed to be filled. So what Elliot decided to do was he's one of the founders of Superfarm. And he helped develop this project starting all the way back in 2018. And we'll go over the history of the project first. We'll go over the history of the project, but first I'm going to go over my sources. So some of my sources is Elliot himself. So you've got Elliot talking about the best altcoin of 2021. Happens to be Superfarm. A little bit of a bias there. But this is a good video to explain what Superfarm is about, so I'll include it in the description. I'll also include this video from April, which is a month after the launch. The launch was at the end of March. And then I go into some interviews between influencers that also showed some insight and some more details about the project. First, we have Elliot with Altcoin Daily and the two brothers there. And then we have him with Ivan on Tech. And then we have a brief description from the project from Genesis Block, and then one last video from a pretty good breakdown from CryptoPig. Well, it's not a normal name I'd throw out there, but I mentioned Elliot before. I mentioned another of these projects, but Superfarm, what is the mission, and then what is it attempting to do? Let's talk about that next. So what is the mission of Superfarm? Why does it exist? Why did Elliot decide to create this? Well, the mission of Superfarm is to create a cross-chain DeFi protocol that allows users to deploy crypto and NFT farms with no code required. Now, reading that sounds like a whole bunch of buzzwords thrown all into one sentence, but I will try and break that down for you in the next 5 to 10 minutes to try and simplify a very complicated project. What Elliot created with his team was the ability to make NFTs and use them in a DeFi application to any blockchain or project. So he made three things. He made one, and there's a lot of notes, I'm sorry, but he made all the utilities that he put together, all the toolkits that he made to make the NFTs, he made them open source. And what he did is he allowed them to people to make NFTs, to add them as utility in some fashion to the blockchain that they're on or the token that they're associated with, and also to provide airdrops and tools to make more NFTs. So that's complicated. So as I said, I walked through all the YouTubes. I'm going to walk through the Superfarm, but some of the best articles that I found, and I will include them all, are articles from Ivan on Tech blog and also Elliot himself. So Superfarm, the website is pretty sparse, so that is a somewhat of a red flag to me. There's no white paper. That's a concern. The team is not really announced either, but their mission statement is really appealing. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag on this project. They are creating an NFT ecosystem, and what they did was they launched in March. Okay, so when they launched in March, they built on the project, and the project's been around since 2018. Elliot started this project back in 2018 when he noticed three different things that were. It's a bear market in 2018. What is going to keep people interested and engaged in crypto? There are three things: exchanges, which had lots of low volume, and he wasn't really passionate about that in 2018. So that he didn't go there. Second was gambling. He wasn't passionate about that. The third one was gaming. Now Elliot's a gamer. He likes playing games, and he knows that there are many people that play games, and the numbers in the games, there's somewhere between 2.5 and 3 billion people that play video games. And the average age of those people is 32 years old, and they spent 180 billion last year in just digital assets alone. That's like upgrades or character improvements on the game, and it's amazing how much money gets spent in game upgrades. So he thought that if he created the right NFT ecosystem that rewarded people to participate in the token and get a reward, that you would get something from the gamer community, and gamer community would come over and not even know that they're involved in cryptos, but they would get involved because of the NFTs. That was his theory, and that's his approach. And what he did in March with the launch is he launched the NFT farming and utility. And I'll go to the website now. You can see that he's got all these different NFTs that were launched, and there are 5 different levels that were launched. Anything from legendary to epic to uncommon to common to rare, all 5 different ranges. And those 5 different types of NFTs and 5 different levels, it's kind of like if you think about collecting Pokemon cards, and you want to collect them all, or you want to get the rarest ones because they have more value in utility. So these have both value in, like, the NFT will go up in value because they're rare and hard to get, but they also have utility in that they will unlock certain things in either a game experience or the ability to get more NFTs or bigger airdrops or whatever. So it creates more value for the token. And if you do it right, if, like, for example, you had to use super tokens to buy these NFTs. So we created a demand for the super token because people want to get these NFTs and get more access to more stuff on the super platform. So think about adding that to Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin does not have staking. It does not have NFTs. But if they had a Superfarm NFT marketplace where they just built this and just said, hey, we're going to put NFTs for things, and if you get certain things in this Bitcoin, the only way to get them is if you have, like, say you have to pledge a Bitcoin to get this NFT. Then you get this rare NFT, and then you get rewarded for owning that NFT because it unlocks other things that you can get. So it creates it leverages the community and interest in a token, creates value on that token without actually adding more utilization, but also it's sort of like for a project that doesn't have staking, or like for a reason to hold coins, like you have in Theta or Cardano or Dot, like where you're collecting coins and you can stake them and earn more coins. Other projects like Litecoin and Biitcoin don't have that because they're legacy projects. But now you can add this feature to them. Imagine if you had 100 Litecoin, you can get an incredibly rare NFT, and this NFT allows you to get airdropped something on, like, say, the Flare token, which is added to the Litecoin ecosystem. So that's where he's trying to add utility to it. And then it goes even further into DeFi, which I'll wrap up with because it's an even deeper layer. But what he's doing is he's creating the NFT launchpad, the NFT farming, And NFT farming is what I basically said, where you have an NFT and then you can add more value. You can get more value because you have the NFT. You can get more airdrops, get access to other things. And some of the gaming experience part is that you have these NFTs. And I'll go back to the original drawing on the other page for Superfarm, or actually I got to scroll up. So if you have these NFTs and you're playing the game that's associated with, certain things can be unlocked inside that game. And those gamers want to have those experiences, and then it creates a different experience, and their characters can do better, or they can experience different things. And to build further upon that, there is also what's called the Superverse. So the Superverse allows you to combine things from different platforms or different games and have even more experiences. And the way I want to position that or get people to understand that is I want you to think about the Marvel Universe. So we all know that, like, at the end of the Marvel Universe, not to be a spoiler here, but these were these Infinity Stones. If you put them all together, you wind up with this really powerful glove. But you had to get you had to collect all these different stones to put them all in the glove to make the glove actually work. So think of these as having individual NFTs. And if you collect all 5 or 6 stones, now the glove has this superpower. So collecting 6 NFTs could give you a superpower within a game or within an ecosystem of a token. That's the best way I can try to bring this analogy to something that a lot of people know about, which is the Marvel movies. So there's more and more details there's not much detail on the website, which is part of it's kind of a disappointment on their website. It does kind of go over their roadmap and that they're going to have their own marketplace and allow trading. But you have all these open source tools that you can use to build NFTs. One more strike against the project. Well, there's 2 strikes. One is it's an ERC20 token, so that concerns me because it's on Ethereum and the network could get clogged up if there's a lot of demand for these tokens. Secondly, this NFT farming and this NFT launchpad to be involved in this Superfarm universe, you have to have 100,000 Superfarm tokens. That was fine when the token was under a penny. The token is now well over 50 cents. I think it's floating in the 80 to 90 cents range. Now you're talking about having $800,000 of an investment to be able to launch NFTs. So only bigger projects or ones with bigger budgets can afford to be in the Superfarm space. So that's a concern. But if you want to dig more into what Superfarm is doing, I will include the articles both from Elliot himself, which goes over he's going to have the farming, the generation in the store, and then he compares Superfarm with a couple other NFT marketplaces like OpenSea, and says all these different things. Of course, Superfarm is going to check them all. You have farming, you have generation, you have a multiverse, that's a Superverse in ERC20. But scrolling down here, you also talk about, here's again, the big population of gamers and how much they spend. So that's what he's trying to tap into to get a marketplace, plus his own marketplace. Elliot has a big following on his channel, plus he knows a lot of people like Ivan and others that he can get people noticing this project. The problem is that some of the other things about the token, I mean, he is developing a lot of partnerships with a lot of other video games, what they call AAA video games or top-rated video games, to get some utility or usage for these coins and for the NFT marketplace. So you have these games where there'll be collectibles and they can put NFTs in them and unlock certain things in those games. So he's kind of building his own Superverse based on partnerships with these games. The token, one of the things I don't like the token economics, quite frankly. There's 1 billion tokens, only 100 million have been released. It's not clear on a lot of how this is being released, but I think I think this project has enough potential because of the DeFi aspect, which I'm going to get to in a moment. There's some tokenomics and how they unlock, so it's not crazy. But he talks about the Superverse and partnering with video games and a couple of airdrops too. So he goes through his own network. So that's a good breakdown. There's also a nice blog entry. I think this is it's more from Elliot. But there's also a good write-up on Ivan on Tech and going over this and what Superfarm is, and also what the breakdown of the non-fungible tokens and what that means. So to wrap this up, I'm going to go into the DeFi space, and that's going to be a bigger topic. So let me pause here before we launch into that. Okay, NFTs and hypercharging the DeFi sector. This is going to be a long video, I apologize, but there's a lot to talk about with Superfarm, and this could be one of the biggest areas of growth for cryptocurrency over the next couple of years. And that's why I really wanted to conclude with Superfarm and Super, because it brings NFTs, DeFi, all these different things together under one roof, and all the reasons, gaming, all these aspects that are important, and how big that all this comes together. So we talked about NFTs, and they talk about the description of it, but and they talk about CryptoKitties and what that history was like. But what I really want to get down to is past the NFTs and DeFi. So NFTs right now, the marketplace of NFTs in 2020 was only 315 million. For DeFi, it was 11 billion. I went and looked at DeFi Pulse, and DeFi Pulse has it. I'll share the graph. It's right here. DeFi was as high as 80 billion, almost 90 billion at the peak in May, and it's still floating over 60 billion. That's billion with a B. So DeFi has a lot of money into it. So if you can combine NFTs with DeFi, you could really have something. So how is that going to work? Jumping back to the DeFi part, which was here. If NFTs cannot get connected with DeFi, you're looking at something pretty interesting. So the Tin Lake example that they gave in this article is that the Tin Lake was able to take real-world assets, tokenize it, make them on NFTs. So now you've taken like an auto loan or a mortgage and make it into an NFT, and then take that to a lender and borrow against it. That's where you're getting DeFi. So now you're getting rewards. So instead of like in the example where you have in the DeFi space, I'll link to DeFi conversation I had with the millennials, but you can go and you can borrow against your Bitcoin. You can have, if you have a Bitcoin, deposit on a site like Celsius or Nexo, you can borrow 50%, you can borrow half a Bitcoin back. Imagine you could do that with a different kind of asset, and you can make that asset available in the crypto space by making it your token. That could be a mortgage, an auto loan, something you have, gold, silver, whatever. Those of you who know what I'm hinting at, this is a coin that I mentioned before, and I know it's a subscriber coin, so I'm not going to say where it goes on the board, but Veritasium does something very similar. So if you're at that project, this is why this is the last video. It's bringing everything together, tokenizing everything, becoming an NFT, and then bringing it into the DeFi sector. It brings everything together, and also some of these projects have patents on NFT and DeFi. So look at Theta, look at Veritasium, look at Populous, and see what those coins have going for them as far as what they offer. But let's just go back to the example here. Tin Lake is the example. They took real-world assets like a loan or a mortgage, turned it into an NFT, and showed that you could borrow against it. That is going to be the path forward to taking real-world assets, tokenizing them, putting them in NFTs, which Superfarm can do, and then if they partner with someone, they can get those NFTs, use them as collateral to borrow against, which creates the DeFi. And now you have an opening into DeFi. And I know that's a deep thing, but this takeaway is that Superfarm is doing two things. They are making a platform that is available, that's open source to everyone on the Ethereum platform, that they can have a marketplace for NFTs where they can create NFTs without having to know the code. It's very simple to put it together. It's a launch pad with farming, and you can generate NFTs, and those NFTs can unlock features, and they can have a marketplace to sell them, and you can trade them too. That's what Superfarm is doing, and they're partnering with game sites and other content providers to amplify their value proposition. Now, the downside is that it's on Ethereum, which can get clogged up. You need 100,000 super farms to launch, so you're asking for a lot of money up front right now. And what was the other strike I had against them? It was Ethereum, the 100K. I'm sorry. The white paper. There's no white paper, and there's not a lot of transparency into the project and who's working on it. But with all those things working against it, there's so much positive with the NFT space, and people want to get into it. And I'm looking at it. I'm exploring this next. But with my exploration into DeFi and this, and them coalescing into one thing, if they can make NFTs and DeFi, that marriage happen and be the leader in this category, the sky is really the limit. Because you go back to that one chart that we had earlier, where we've got the DeFi against NFTs. DeFi is not even $1 billion market yet, and if you go over the DeFi market, which was here we go, too many tabs, $60 billion. So $60 billion compared to an NFT market that might be at this point 1 to 2 billion. So it's a 30x possibility for NFTs to go up, and there's not a consolidated home for NFTs. There's other projects like Engine and Wax that are competing in this and doing well. And there's Mintable and there's OpenSea. There's places to go and trade your NFTs. But if you can create a one-stop shop for everybody that uses this and can actually use it for bigger projects and add it to blockchains that don't have staking or other features that unlock value or promote the taking coins off of the marketplace, then you can really add value to a lot of different blockchains and create this NFT and DeFi experience on all kinds of blockchains. So there's a lot to like about this project. It's a lot of news. I'm sorry, this is probably the deepest news section I've done. It is the final video that I'm doing for ALTCOINopoly, so give me a little latitude here, but this project has a lot going for it. But this is the marriage of NFT and DeFi and tokenization of real-world assets that could be the next generation, the next level of things that people wrap their minds around and saying, this is what blockchain really can do. Excuse me for one more second as I interrupt this video for one more time in ALTCOINopoly. As you may have heard, somebody you might know, this guy, just went full-time into cryptocurrency. So I'm here to help everyone as many as I can, as much as I can, however I can. So I make it as easy as possible for people to reach out to me, 240-517-6051. That's the phone number right at the top of LitecoinLeader.com, where you should know already. And it's Jeff@LitecoinLeader.com or LitecoinLeader on Instagram or Telegram. Easy for me to get, for you to get a hold of me, and I'm here to help. If you just need to talk for a couple of minutes, ring me up, let's talk. Maybe you don't need a consultation yet, or maybe you do. Maybe you need some in-depth help. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. So reach out to me, let's talk, let me see how I can help, let's spread some adoption, let's help you on your journey, let's help everybody move forward in crypto before it explodes, which can happen at any moment now, as we all know. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon. So once again, we're going to take a look at the charts now for Superfarm. We're going to go compare it against USDT and also against Bitcoin. And I've already drawn in a number of the lines. I missed one. Let me throw it in real quick as I'm talking. So what I've done is I'm comparing Superfarm over this timeline, and I'm showing it in different time frames since it's launched. It launched back in March, as I mentioned earlier, when Elliott Trades launched the project in the first 5 NFTs, and it boomed. It boomed, but the reason it boomed mostly because when people got into this project early on, it was well below a penny, like 0.001, 0.002 cents. So a lot of people were cashing in and just taking their profits right out off the top as the project first launched. So that's when it launched around $2.50 and went over $4 quickly, and then started coming right back down. And it's been well below $1 since, well, it's been below $1 I would say since the middle of May. But now it's starting to turn around, and the volume's coming up, which is a good positive indicator. So this could be turning up positively. So looking at the US dollar price, and typically when a coin launches, you will see something. If there's been a pre-sale or an ICO or whatever that people got in early, you will see a dump early, and then it will come find a new resting place as far as its price, and then it will start to build from there. And the volume building is a very positive sign. So this looks like it could be a very positive entry point to take a look at this. Now it could come back a little bit because we're almost like you can make an argument that this is a cup with a little bit of a handle coming, but I've drawn different points of resistance here. If it breaks this orange line and gets above, say, $1, there's not much holding it back from getting to this blue line, which is $1.60. So You can see really that transition from $1 to $1.60 happened very quickly. There's not a lot of activity there, so it could quickly move back into that. And if it crosses the blue line, the blue to green line, there was a lot of activity. But again, the volume was relatively low compared to all the volume now. So it could blow through these lines quickly and start to push that $4 line in relative speed. I don't think it's going to happen in a week, but I think that we are, given this volume, this renewed interest in the project, I think we're seeing a maturity level that's coming that to the marketplace for Superfarm, that they could be making new announcements that's coming out soon, and this project could be jumping up quickly. So there's room for a 4 to 5x here in US dollar terms. So taking a look at this chart compared to Bitcoin, we have similar lines, and I'm just going to jump back and forth. As you can see, I've drawn basically the same 4 lines on Bitcoin versus US dollar, and it's the same time frame. I'm not sure how it went before March. Somehow they got data there, but I'm going to move this chart just as the similar time frame. Yeah, so I think they were tracking the price pre-launch, so that about shows the same chart. Yeah. So it's basically the same picture. So in terms of Bitcoin, we can go from 2,000 sats up to 7,000 sats, which looks like a 3.5x. But again, if you're going to go up, probably Bitcoin goes up as well. And then you could start to see how this could form a cup with handle. You can see this arch starting to form here. The volume's picking up, which is nicely. You even have a little mini cup here that this red line could be the start of a handle, and it'd be a great time. Not financial advice, of course, but if you want to jump in, this looks to be a reasonable entry point right around 2,000 sats or so, or just jump in as it is. I wouldn't sweat 80 sats. That's not. If you like a project, you like a project, just jump in. Again, not financial advice, but if you like the project, you think it's going to go from 2,000 or 2,100 sats up to 7,000 sats, I mean, why would you sweat 80 sats? That's, again, not financial advice, but that's just general strategy there. It doesn't make any sense to wait. But so you're looking at the coin. It looks good. I could see a 4 to 5x in terms of US dollars and about a 3 to 3.5x in Bitcoin. Before I leave this and before we wrap this up, I want to look at CoinMarketCap. Superfarm is at the 82 cents right now, and it's ranked 321 overall. Now, again, notice that there's tags here they include collectibles and NFTs. So clicking that button will bring up other coins that are in that same space and have that same tag. Now what I did was I clicked that and it launched several different projects, including Theta, Tezos, and Chili's, and Decentraland. They're all involved to some extent in the NFT space, and Theta definitely is getting there because they have an NFT marketplace. But the 2 coins I want to point out are Engine, which I mentioned earlier, and it's also mentioned in the Altcoin Daily video with Elliot. And if you want to find that, I think there's a timestamp in that one. Hold on one second. So jumping over to the Altcoin Daily video one last time, they do a great job. They actually indexed all of their questions. So Superfarm versus Engine at the 28th minute. So if you want to hear that 3-minute segment, just click this and it'll jump right to that question, and it'll talk about that for 3 minutes. It's a good listen there. I listened to the whole interview, but it's a good discussion there. But back to my original point. Comparing Superfarm with a market cap of $84 billion compared to 2 other coins, Engine and Wax. Wax is 250 million, 3 times as large. Engine is over $1 billion. Quick math, it's probably like 13x. So that is probably the upper and lower bound of where I think Superfarm could be. I think it can do the 3x. I don't want to say easily, but that shouldn't be nearly as challenging as catching up with Engine. Engine is a platform that does a lot of NFTs for in gaming. So that's why they're the #1 NFT gaming coin, and it's in the top 100. So that's what Superfarm is chasing. That's what it could aspire to. I don't think it's going to do more than a 10x, but it could. I mean, that's the coin to track against. Engine versus Superfarm is the one you want to track against for the upper bound and what it could get to. But not financial advice, but there's certainly a strong case to be made that Superfarm can go anywhere from 3.5 to a 5x, and then ultimately maybe even a 10x as it starts to catch up with Engine Coin. So there's the coin for today. It is Superfarm, or Super,
and that's why I played the word game earlier with super and Superman references. But as you figured out with all the news, there's a lot to talk about this coin. It's a lot to like, but there's also some things to be concerned about. So I have some ups and downs, and it's a wonder where I'm going to wind up with my rating. But let's take a quick look at that before I wrap up the thing for today.
And now the final look for ALTCOINopoly for this year for the game as we're playing it throughout the summer. Here's the bare board one last time. Again, Zone 4, top tier projects. Our final piece is Super, short for Superfarm, goes in the second green spot on the right side. As far as the coin rating system, we have a 1 through 5 scale, with 5 being the highest rating. It's the red hotel versus 1 through 4 houses. 1 being the weakest, 5 being the strongest. Again, Superfarm. Wrapping this up, I'm going to start with the negatives. It's an ERC20 token. I'm a little concerned about the Ethereum platform, but it is robust. That was the right choice back in 2018 to develop the project, so I can't really fault them for that. Secondly, the 100K coins to play in the NFT space. You need 100,000 coins to launch your own NFT Superfarm project. That's a little bit of a barrier to entry, with it being $800,000 to $900,000 right now. So that's a concern. Third, the website is a little bit of a mystery. We don't know who the team is very much beyond Elliot Wyman of Elliot Trades, and we don't have a white paper. All that said, it's a great project what they're doing, creating an open source platform for NFTs to be put on any blockchain, blockchain agnostic. It doesn't matter what the platform is. It's open source. It'll work with everything, and it can add more value to an existing blockchain. Like, it can add more value to projects that don't have staking or NFTs like Biitcoin or Litecoin. So there's that plus. And then the biggest plus is if they can merge DeFi and create, sort of like for NFT farming and yield farming, they can create DeFi value as well onto the platform. You can open up a huge space in DeFi and get NFTs involved and tokenize things that are beyond just the native blockchain. It could be a major project and a changing of what the Bitcoin and crypto space looks like going forward for the next several years. So what is my rating for Superfarm? Well, I really debated this one. I know it's above a 3. I cannot give it a 5 because I'm concerned about it. I could have gone 3.5. I did not feel good enough about 4.5. So I landed, surprise, surprise, at 4. So I think that this project has potential to achieve a 5. It also, like the entry point right now that we're talking about it, on the charts, it looks good. Not financial advice, of course, but the project itself looks like a good project. It does have a little bit of things to be concerned about, but I don't think any of them are not, they can't be overcome. So I think that it's a good project. I think it's bringing a lot of value to a lot of spaces, both new and old, and for that reason, I give it a 4, and I like the project going forward.
So there's my conclusion, a 4 out of 5 for Super. It's the final piece, it's the final show. I feel good about that rating. I can't give it a 5, but I didn't want to give it a 3. I think that if it can penetrate DeFi like it can with NFTs, it could be a major home run going forward. Of course, not financial advice. It's always not financial advice. It's just one guy's opinion on the internet. And I want to thank you for spending all this time you have with me on my YouTube channel since I started back in April, and LitecoinLeader.com. So thank you once again. And I hope that you're playing the game, LitecoinLeader.com. It's the last time to enter, of course. And if you're entered by the end of the month, you're still eligible for the grand prize. So thank you again for playing, and thank you again for all the times here. And one last time, if you, as you know, I'm full time now. If you need any help in crypto in any way, shape, or form, LitecoinLeader.com, Jeff at LitecoinLeader.com, LitecoinLeader at Telegram and Instagram, and 240-517-6051 is my phone number. No questions too big or too small. You just want to ring me up and talk for a few minutes, decide if you need a consultation or anything beyond that, we can do that too. So anything you need, just let me know, reach out to me, and I hope to hear from you soon. And thank you one more time for watching all these videos with me. It's been highly entertaining. So for the one last time for ALTCOINopoly, before we revisit everything in August and September and start to talk about our meetup in Myrtle Beach this fall, I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau, and I'll see you next time.